Oregon Constitution, because this is absolutely excellent and great. Okay, we declare that all men, when they form a special compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority, the people's authority, and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. And they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. We are the authority. We are the authority, not the county commissioners. The county commissioners are not kings, okay? I know they like to think they are sometimes. But we the people, are the authority. And constitutionally, the county is more powerful than the state. And it's also more powerful than the federal government. Thank you.
We have far too many regulations or red tape at a state and federal level, especially when Salem and Portland get to make those decisions for rural Oregon, and they have no idea what it's like to live rurally. So Freeman likes to take credit for the changes to the interior, allowing the appropriations for the ONC to increase that. So if that was done at a federal level and he had an influence over that, why isn't he influencing other things in our county that help us? So it's either he can't influence things and they're deferring their responsibility, or they can influence things and they're choosing not to. So if we can lobby to change those regulations, we should be lobbying to change it so that rural Oregon has different regulations than urban Oregon, and that we're treated with more leniency so that we can build, we can expand, we can invest in our communities, into our farms, into our forest land, and not be regulated by Portland and Salem. Thank you.
I feel like I'm living in an episode of Mythbusters right now. We heard people say that they were going to diversify the economy by being more business friendly, and then we heard them say that the county's going to receive revenue from that because businesses are going to pay more fees. Charging businesses more fees is not being more business friendly. We've heard lots of campaign promises throughout the last month or so about how if I become a commissioner, I'm going to fix this. And tonight what we've heard is that we have less lenient rules, where we interpret the state rules as lenient as we can, and we don't add additional rules onto the state rules. Our motto at Douglas County is find a way to get to yes. That's how our departments operate. That's a top-down approach. We teach these folks to find a way to get to yes. All the problems are at the state and federal level. We've also heard lots of accusations. If the commissioners have the influence to change the ONC, then why aren't they working on this? Well, the truth is, they are. We are working on this. We work with Virgil and David Rock Smith and even our Democrat partners in the state legislature for more local control all the time. We have a group of farmers and ranchers around here who wanted to impose a tax on themselves for predator control. They want to be able to tax themselves a fee to pay professional trappers to come out and manage conflicts between predators and their wildlife. The Democrats in Salem said no. We've been advocating for local control, and the Democrats in Salem said no because they didn't want them to kill the poor little animals. This is what we do every single day.
Thank you, Commissioner. I might add that they did get their tax in one different direction here. They did get it. Steve.
So at first I thought this was a gotcha question, because the question is for specific regulations that are preventing development in Douglas County. But I didn't hear any of the three incumbents list or cite the specific regulations. So I was like, well, cool, this just goes into my campaign promises. So the two other campaign promises that I've had is that I'm gonna have a live stream camera in my county commissioner office, so you can see me working. If I say I work 65 hours this week, 65 hours this week, you can go, oh yeah, you can verify the timestamp, see if he actually worked that period of time, and see what he's doing, and see what he's talking to, because it's on the taxpayer's dollar, and I owe it to you.
But the second campaign promise is that I'm gonna do office hours. And I know Boyce has said that, his door is always open, it's always open. I would not agree with that assessment, although he may think it is always open. But 4 hours every Friday, I'm going to have 20-minute sessions. You can sign up online. And whatever your issue is, if it's a development plan, it's a timber issue, it's whatever the issue is, you can sit down, you'll be on camera, because it just says live streaming and everything, and talk to me about whatever your issue is. And I can get you an answer, and I can partner with people. Throughout the last couple of years, I mean, I'm not a politician, and I haven't dealt with politics. I'm stepping away from my career job, because I'm like, I think somebody can do a hell of a lot better in this seat. That's why I'm doing this. And I'm giving it the biggest shot that I could possibly give it. I don't know how to campaign. I've been my own campaign manager. A buddy asked me, he said, "Who's your campaign manager?" Because he saw a bunch of my stuff around town and how I was doing. I said, "The Lord. The Lord is my campaign manager on this one." So I'm doing everything myself. I'm giving it everything I got because I want to see a better future for Douglas County. It's still not true. That's good. I'm good.
Thanks, Steve.
Very good. So this is actually a little bit different. I actually agree with Chris on this one. Whenever you look at rules and regulations, there's many levels. You have them at the city level, you have them at the county level, and you have them at the state level. And unless you're talking about addressing every single one of those, then you're not going to get anything accomplished. So we need to have an integrated government where we actually work with those cities and with Virgil and with Alex Barbados and with David Brock Smith and hold them accountable to help us change those rules and regulations in Salem. I do want to say that a Douglas County Democrat is not a Salem Democrat. They don't live in these rural communities. They don't understand exactly what it takes for us to make things work. And it is incumbent on us to work with our state representatives to change those rules and help them see that it is different here. I believe that as a Democrat, that I can shame those folks in a way that Republicans can. And I think that gives me a little bit of advantage to fight for to bring some prosperity back to Douglas County. Thank you.
Thank you. My opinion, true statement of the night, Douglas County Democrat is not a Salem Democrat. Amen.
Yep.
Amen. Okay, so we're at a point right now, we need about 10 minutes to do closing. So that gives us about 10-ish minutes to do questions from the crowd, from the audience. Margaret has handed me the questions that you guys have written down. Is that suitable for everybody? You don't have to answer these questions, these are kind of crowd questions. If you choose to answer them, can you do it in 30 seconds? Maybe or a minute. Let's go with a minute, and that gives us time. Okay, so I'm going to just take the first question here. Hypothetically, you have $100,000 extra to spend. Where do you invest it to make the most impact? And I guess we'll start with Andrew because we ended on that end.
Oh man, that's a gotcha, right off the top of your head. I think if I had an extra $100,000 to spend on the county, the first place I would look is in the school system. I do believe that if we're going to attract more companies to come to Douglas County, we have to look at those quality of life issues. And no company is going to move here when our school system isn't doing well. They're not going to want that for their employees. So I would try to find a way to integrate that into the school budget and to help our schools.
School board member, you took my answer. So yeah, same thing. I would probably either a facility or some kind of program to partner with the CTE, Trade Pathways, Medical Pathways programs in our school district. I think that is a crucial partnership that is not being utilized right now that definitely needs to be utilized.
Yep.
I'd spend it in Winchester Bay. I look for a return on investment, and I happen to find a great return on investment over there. Our county park system is vibrant, robust, self-sustaining, and pays what we call a central service fee back into the general fund to help operate the rest of the county government.
I recently said in a city council meeting where we discussed with the Burke Creek Police Department that they were working on catching predators and children, and they just don't have the funding to do enough of that. So I would invest that in Douglas County to help catch more predators in our county.
So because of our growing economy, I would actually sorts of other things for our county. Not my personal friends though.
As a child of a Vietnam War veteran, I really do think that our local veterans are cut short, and I would like to place that money towards a program to support them. We have so many of them who are not living the lives that they deserve after all that they've sacrificed.
So lots of good things we can spend $100,000 on. If I had to pick one, I would give that money and invest it into DENT, Douglas County Interagency Narcotics Team. They recently did a couple enforcement actions down at the homeless camp here in Roseburg, and 8 out of the 9 that were arrested for crimes other than drugs had drugs on them. The 9th one had drugs, but she threw down the briars, and the guys didn't want to crawl down the briars to get it. So I think one of the ways to get people out of homelessness is to hold them accountable for the crimes they're committing, and I think our drug team can do an amazing job with some additional resources helping change the homeless problem that we have here in Roseburg.
I like that homeless too, especially since homelessness was number 2 on the concerns for Douglas County residents as a whole, with taxes being number 1. But I want to go with what Commissioner Boyce said. He has an inside scoop and on that Salmon Harbor, and being able to put that $100,000 and invest it and have a return on that money, and so and that will come back to us, and thereby improving what we got at Salmon Harbor too.
All right, I have an 8-year-old. I am a volunteer at the Myrtle Creek Library. Reading comprehension among children is horrid. Like, horrendous. Sorry, it is absolutely horrendous. So, $100,000, I would distribute it across all the libraries who have been defunded and have formed nonprofits to operate, because those kids need help. And if we're not helping our future generations, what are we setting them up for other than failure?
This is one of those times where I hate going last, and particularly behind Commissioner Freeman, because I agree with him. If I had an extra $100,000 to spend right now, it's going to be in law enforcement. It's going to be in public safety. It is absolutely critical, and you can't spend enough there.
This should be a quick answer. This is a question from the audience. Who do the Douglas County Commissioners think they are accountable to? If you want to answer that very short.
We are elected to the electorate, the people that put us in office.
All the residents who voted for us.
No. All the residents.
The who are we?
Everybody.
Who would the Douglas County Commissioner be accountable to?
Yeah, the voters and my own values, myself, and bringing up those values and always holding them up to the highest values of good leadership.
The children. Yeah, the kids. They're
God,
future.
family, country, and the 112,000 citizens that live in Douglas County that we represent every single day.
Yes, obviously the citizens, whether they're voting or non-voting, what their political party is, and just represent them to the best of our ability with God's faith.
I would definitely say God and the citizens of Douglas County, the people, the government.
Every citizen that lives in Douglas County.
Commissioner Freeman stole my answer.
Yeah, I would say the job of every Douglas County citizen, myself, I hold myself accountable to the board.
Yeah, this is an easy one. It is every Douglas County citizen, regardless of what party you belong to, regardless of your political, social class, or economic social class. Everybody that lives in this county will always have open doors.
All right, thank you guys all. Listen, there are some really great questions here. We already have a lot of questions. I'm sorry that it turned out that way, but it's not fair. It's the surprised. So what I would encourage everybody in the audience to do, please ask these folks the questions afterwards. Go to the commissioner's office, go to the candidates, ask them the questions you have here, because I think there's some great questions. I wish we could have addressed them all tonight. We'd be here another 2 hours. So with that, we're going to go to our closing, and each person's going to get, we have scheduled for 1 minute. We could probably fudge that to 2, I think, for closing. So let's go ahead and start here.
Yeah, I'll go first. The way I want to close is say that it's okay to demand officials. It's okay to demand that your budget is actually correct and that the numbers add up. It's okay to demand that your county commissioners will talk to you and have conversations. And it's okay to demand that they try to look for solutions to the employment problem and the affordability crisis outside of timber. Timber's important, timber's always going to be here, but it's okay to say that we want you to work a little bit harder. As a senior NCO and as a senior manager at Boeing, we were paid not just to do our jobs, we were paid to identify known problems and attack them, take ownership of them and attack them. If I'm elected, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll take ownership of known problems and work my butt off to solve those problems, regardless if it's in my job title or not. I'm still going to work on it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't repeat my name on any of the questions, so I'll finish up by saying my name again. So, my name is Steve Hammerson. I am running for position 3 against Chris Boyce. I want to raise the level of public servant. When I got on the school board, there was, it's tough because the conversation's kind of an executive session, so I kind of have to not really talk about it. But there was a moment where we essentially there was 6 votes one way and 1 vote the other. And of course, I was the other vote, right? And so I basically sat down and I just said, each one of you convince me. Tell me the other side. Show me the other side. Play devil's advocate for a second and tell me why we should go in this direction. And each one of them told me. A lot of them were very animated, very heated. But 2 weeks later, our school board chair came to me and she just said, you know what? I gained a lot of respect for you after we went through that. Because when people don't question what's happening, if you don't actually investigate and look through and analyze all the evidence and use your critical thinking cap to say, what is the right answer here? What is the right decision here? If you just blindly accept whatever, then we're just down the road to hell. It's going to be bad. And I feel like there are a lot of things that are going on in the county commissioner's office that need to be addressed. And so I want to be an ambassador to the public to say, I'm here, I'm listening, and guess what? Andrew says he's going to outwork me. That's fortunate because I'm running against him. So if I get in there, I don't care who's in there with me. I will outwork them. I will spend an absorbent amount of time in that office, an absorbent amount of time calling people across the state. I've talked to past, present, future county commissioners. Go ahead.
Thank you. Commissioner Boyce, 2 minutes.
So both of these guys had some great points, and I agree with Andrew when he says it's okay to ask. It is okay to ask. Matter of fact, we encourage you to ask. We want you to ask, but it's not okay to assume. It's not okay to assume that you think you know what's going on in the commissioner's office if you don't ask. It's not okay to assume that we all got new Jeeps because you heard it on the internet. It's not okay to assume that I own a Ferrari when I don't own a Ferrari. You can't blindly accept, as Steve mentioned, these things as truths without finding out. And there's a whole bunch of things that have been said that aren't true, and quite frankly, it's disgusting. One thing that was said tonight that I wanted to bring back, and actually Samantha mentioned this, she's talking about money on the ground. And I talked about this the last time I ran for re-election. What if we could provide everything that everybody here talked about tonight without raising taxes, without raising fees, and all we had to do was drive up to North Umpqua and pick up dead trees that are already laying on the ground and sell them into the the market. Because that's what we should be doing. When we have industrial timberlands out here that are mismanaged, and we have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of acres of forest burning every year, and the federal government is leaving the wood on the landscape and not reclaiming like most people think they are, all we have to do, and we've been doing this work, lobbying for it, is get some change that allows for that wood to be picked up and sold into the market. And all of these problems are solved.
Thank you, Mr. Shane.
50% tax money on that. Oh
Just first, I want to thank the veterans that are here. Thank you for your service. In closing remarks, it's time for term limits. These guys have been in this for so long. We're just not seeing any real growth in our county. We're not seeing progress. We need a change. So we have a lot of great candidates up here. I would love to see new faces, new ideas, and a new direction for Douglas County so we build a better future for our youth, for our seniors and veterans. Thank you.
So vote Samantha Frost, and I will fight against overreaching state government. I will use the Constitution against them. They don't know how, I don't think anybody in the state government actually knows the Constitution at all. I will reduce taxes, I will reduce burdens, I will reduce worries, I will reduce the fraud, waste, and abuse. It'll be completely gone. I will reduce homeless by following, there's a pilot program that Trump is doing out of LA. That pilot program is actually doing very well. That they actually go through treatment before homes first, and then get put on a sort of employment program. If you vote for me, we can move into a thriving county and become part of the golden age. Thank you.
Yes, Brandy Stone again. Like I said, I was born here, and my dad, he worked in logging, his dad worked in logging, and my brother works in logging. That's pretty much all they've ever done. My mom and her mom and my aunts and my other grandpa all worked for RFP. RFP is no longer headquartered in Roseburg. Roseburg Forest Products is no longer in Roseburg. It's now in Lane County. Automation has completely changed the role that timber takes in this county. And so I don't like to speak in platitudes. I like to speak in very practical process terms. What we need are term limits. It could be done tomorrow. It can be done by executive order with the political will of 2 commissioners. We need election integrity, possibly to go to hand counting ballots, because we have a lot of hurt public trust in that area. And we absolutely need to bring back the timber harvest severance tax, because it's the other half of our timber story. We are missing half of our timber story. In 30 years, Oregon has lost $3 billion to counties, and Idaho never removed theirs. So when we're talking about Great Idaho, think about how they still have a severance tax, and that's part of why they're still doing well. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandy.
Well, thank you, and thank you all for being here on this beautiful evening. We've been outside doing something else. I'm Tim Freeman, I'm the current county commissioner, and I'm running for re-election. I wrote this as part of the speech I gave for the memorial we did for Charlie Kirk. And I think it's true today when we saw all this today. People would rather take their right with wrong information and know they're wrong with the right information. I think that's really describes social media. I think that really creates that situation. I have testified literally on hundreds of bills at the state and federal level. Testified on congressional bills. I've hosted 2 secretaries of Interior here in Oregon to talk about ONC lands. I've met with other ones in D.C. Somebody got this wrong earlier. The U.S. Forest Service is managed by the Department of Agriculture, not the Department of Interior. BLM manages ONC lands to the Department of Interior. 2 weeks ago, I was in a meeting with Tom Schultz, Chief of the U.S. Forest Service, the National Chief of the U.S. Forest Service. Since President Trump's taken office, I have met with each acting director of the National BLM and advocated for the very things that you see happening today. I advocated specifically for the ONC change in timber receipt share. I met with the congressional appropriator in 2018. For almost 10 years I've been working on that issue, and I will promise you, our delegation just didn't wake up one day and say, oh, let's give the counties more money. We worked hard on that. I worked hard on that. Our association worked hard on that. We convinced our delegation it was the right thing. They worked hard. It took an act of Congress to change that. But that started right here in Douglas County with the role that I have in the Association of ONC Counties as their president. We have a great group of people here in the county, a great team of commissioners, but other elected officials also. Our district attorney's here tonight with us. Of course, our sheriffs already spoke, but all the elected officials in Douglas County are all elected officials, they're not politicians. They came to this job to try to help. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. One of the things that I just want to share that I hope with these finding the answer through the ONC dollars, which I do believe that it's a resource, that we're reasonable with that and hopefully have save some pristine ecosystems, forests, for our future generations, because forests are natural, the pristine ones, and old growths don't need to be managed, but the forests and timber that have been harvested and planted and the regrowth and all of that, because I don't think it's just going to be the old fallen or burnt trees that are going to be collected. So just want to advocate for that, reasonable, and future generations. So with that, I have over 20 years experiencing strengthening partnerships, advancing resilience, responsibly stewarding natural resources, and supporting communities, and very much like Douglas County. My grandfather was an immigrant. My mom was a single mom. I'm the oldest of 4 girls. And my baby sister's 10 years younger than me. And I wasn't lucky enough to, or not lucky enough, I love my narrative, it's made me strong, but I did not have intergenerational wealth or family hand businesses to me or opportunities to me. I fought all very hard to get there. In my 40s, I got my bachelor's degree in career in technical studies because I believe in vocational training, and not everybody's on the college track. And then I got my master's in psychology with industrial organization emphasis, which is leadership. And so with that, I am true collaboration. So that's the discipline. I've been doing that at tables for a long time. True collaboration and thoughtful questions are what I'm here to do. Lori Wick, Light the Way.
I just want to thank everyone again for being here today. At the end of the day, no matter who gets elected, our job here is to do our best for this county. It's plain and simple. That is it. It is our best for the county and the people that elected us and who voted in general. We don't owe allegiance to any party, to any corporation, to anything other than this county. As long as, at the end of the day, you trust us to do what's best for the county. You challenge us when you think that we're not doing what's best. And that we have open conversations where everyone's voice is heard, everyone feels they have a voice at the table, a seat at the table, and you feel that you matter. And the work that we do matters. That's what it's about. It is about the county. Whether or not we want to think that we're better than other people, we want to argue with other people, it doesn't matter. You guys matter, the county matters, and having it thrive for the generations after us, that's what is absolutely important. There may be decisions, if you elect me, that I make that you may not like, but I guarantee you will know why I made them and how I made them. And you'll be able to see that it is for the best, for the good of this county, and it's for the good of the people coming after us.
Thank you. And last but not least, Bishop Press.
Thank you all again for coming tonight. You know, when I graduated from college, I could have moved anywhere. Could have gone anywhere in the country. I really wanted to come back to Douglas is a very special place. My work experience and the time I've spent in Douglas County over the years has prepared me and made me the person I am today to lead this county. I needed that experience. I needed that time. And when I was done with my career in business, I wanted to help Douglas County. I wanted to give back and I wanted to do something. So I ran for this job 8 years ago. You elected me then. I hope you elect me now. But I also wanted to just say that every year that I'm in this job, I get better at it. Every year I get better at it. I didn't know everything then. I don't know everything now. But as most of you guys have found out before, I'm available. I've helped many of you out on lots of different occasions. You know how to get a hold of me. I love Douglas County, and I hope you re-elect me. Thank you.
All of our candidates, a big round of applause. It's a tough job, I know that for a fact. So thank you guys, everybody for coming tonight, and thank all of our candidates.
Don't leave the table, you've got candidates.
Go South Umpqua!
I was attacked by one of these commissioners, raised my hackles. I did some investigation. It looks like I might be racketeering, fraud, dismissal, treason, statutory violations, and financial hanky-panky. I've got some information if anybody wants it.
Hey, Chris. Good to see you up there. Yep. Well, the battery died, and I just 5 minutes, and I'm like, ooh.
I just can't believe how much younger you'll be the next time I see you.
I don't know. I don't feel younger, but right now, bought some property. I'm putting gardens in. I'm putting an orchard in. It's exciting.
So you moved to Myrtle Creek?
No. I bought some property just east of Roseburg.
Just east of Roseburg.
Because Lucy and I, we're not getting any younger. We need to be closer to medical. We need to, Our house right now is a tri-level house. It's not conducive to us. Wonk, wonk, wonk. So we're going to build a one-level house out there. And I got a couple acres. There's deer everywhere. There's turkeys everywhere. So I got to put fences in. I have orange trees. I have fig trees. I've propagated so many trees up in Sutherland. They're sitting in rows, all ready to go.
Yes, doesn't he look younger?
Good work in there. I like
He clapped for you.
Oh, a few of them, I get a few points. You're so honest.
And then we were going to have a conversation about silver.
Okay.
We're good.
Because I don't know, you know. It's out of ignorance, I promise.
He's growing stuff.
I'm so glad to see that you've got your oxygen.
Yeah.
It ran out.
He's not too proud.
I was on it for 3 years. I worked my way off of it, and I still have to wear it at night.
Yes.
And then about 6 months ago, the doctor said, they said in the after you've gotten